Local rice consumption in Ghana is pegged at 1.5 million metric tons annually. The grain is used for a plethora of dishes in many Ghanaian homes. But sadly, the most consumed ones are the ones imported from foreign countries. Many locals cite the low quality of the indigenous rice or variety as reasons for not purchasing them. In today's episode of The Food Chain, we take a critical look at Ghana's rice sector to find out how they can improve on this variety. We'll be speaking with the Ghana Standards Authority and other sector players. My name is Emmanuel Kweku. It's a pleasure having you on today's episode. Stay with us. On Efia Sewa's menu for her eatery today, she will be serving her customers with wachi, a local meal prepared from rice and beans. Typical of most food vendors and households in Ghana, she cooks the dish with a foreign long grain rice other than the local Ghanaian rice variety.
Local rice, yana boom, minya kwenye, na brofomono so we taste local rice. Odi ya emaniye kama yana mempe, wonu akwentimika, weso awachi beyi kama ntente kama.
Her customers, like many other Ghanaians, prefer the foreign rice variety to the local rice.
The one they call it asansimo, so yeah, that one there are stones in it. So you don't wash it well. I don't feel like I'm eating rice when I eat the local rice.
Stones, chaff, and unpolished nature of the locally produced rice have over the years shied lovers in Ghana from patronage. The post-harvest processes the local crop is subjected to before packaging onto the market are bereft of high-quality rice standard protocols.
Tabo, born tabo na no dia tuta polino so na wachwa amono tenten na woburu gum nte woburu wia na wapia ano aguba bia hata na wasan twabiem nte sa no wonye fidie no wonye ne kakra woyen bebre wo ho ba kire wontimi mboro basai wo wie no wa husa wa hata mana wo tapol no so tapol na tete de ya wosesa abo babam eno ntina ya ne abo no wom no na amu no ahon enye fe no na eche se wanye ba bi hata ne yi na nsuo na ya ne ba ha ya agene no ano so ka ho a ya ne ma amu no ye bre no ye hunu so no.
Rice is a major carbohydrate source for many households in Ghana, used for various local delicacies. It is the second most important staple after maize. Available data suggests that the country consumes approximately 1.5 million metric tons of rice annually, but only a third of it is produced locally. Although domestic rice production in Ghana has seen a growth rate of about 9% from the early 70s to 2022, approximately 50% of rice demands are met through imports. The Bakwai municipality in the Ashanti region is one of the rice baskets of the country. In 2023, the agrarian town produced 1,900 tons of rice. The farmers are pushing beyond their limits to produce the local rice.
Odi abano wo we 1 2 3 na odi mono agum kakra ketenkete saa nti wi age se onya daage etna ho hwesa ne enoma embedi nti obeton hwe saa gere to 1 week ansa atima piepie na se ekobe 2 weeks na noma na emba biema ansa watima agyae nti ne duan de eden pa no kwasem eden ba bi o mu di machine edua ba ha no yenya saa support no ti ye de yensa na ye saa nti brando dos wanya mo ba papa anua emu no fifi a ana bi ya tentene chen bi enti abedu sa be pese no ne ya tentene di kan pese ja enti ya no enti wo se tentene de no baba bebre na ne enti afi na no so gusu ya de e pese fam enti esa na ye bre yi enti so wo kasa wo twan ma ne nyina so ababo ma na ema mo no so esai fi wo ba machine ha no na wo ba be so ne ebubu period samro mu ye ne se ye wo dua ne samle wo be twa no be June July enti June July na wo ba be twa satan so no so toto yie pa kuyafo na ndeme kana abedu satan no de wedi kura wunya ase okoto tapoli na ho de abaye sa adwuma na tapoli so no boaden ntina wonze mo no ne nsu ne guso baba na esi adane asante broni ebi yellow ebi white atofo no so ba o mo mpe na abebo so wa ha na afi ohun ne o ya sa adwuma o ye nya na obamabu because me di me de ba si ache yie pa me de ba be remember February mo ho e de be senka me de twan price so ma twan ya be si am price ne mba me so me ho kire me ana ne ma ba be so you so senka ayade anka price ne ye man ya anka bo ma yesu anya bia de ato ne ma ase ye de ye na ka ye de ayam no ma ama na aboa yen senso no gusu na efo a ase onya awia no so mo because obi ensuo no ba sa okata so nti se emo no fa kakra na so okata so a heat bam nti within 3 days a ukoba bo se wo ko bie mo no so na mo no fifi heat na wo mo nti ma mo no ye de efifi nti utama obanya awia na ba hatam na ba no ma na de machine na fe wo ba so a yes ade na asante bro because pebra udu na August September August na eba be December the December mu satan suru head anto na awia ne bokama the satan ne de wo de ba ni ne kama pa a enya hwe.
The Ghanaian rice consumers' perception of these rice being produced under unhygienic conditions is prompting the urgent intervention by the government and other civil society organizations to promote high standard rice. Ghana has improved on its rice varieties, but post-harvest techniques are critical to ensure the rice meets the required standards both locally and internationally. After harvesting, the paddy rice must meet these standards. Officials of the Ghana Standard Authority take stakeholders, primarily farmers and extension officers, through the protocols for checking rice standards.
And then you come to the bottom of it. So this is to ensure that you get a true representation in the bag. You pick out the wrong ones then, but if you say you are going to just be looking at it, you miss a lot, and when you are done you wouldn't have fully graded this thing properly. So just do it. You see, as I did, you can easily see that this one is not good. Then you go on.
The Sankofa Rice Factory, located within the Bakwai municipality, produces hundreds of local rice bags daily, serving indigents and other neighboring markets. Rice harvested from the farms are fed to the chain of rice milling machines to be processed into fine grains. From the destoning compartment to the miller, each batch of rice grains undergo careful processes to produce the indigenous rice. Joseph Nyako works as one of the managers at the factory.
I dream be so mutim set no na abo wominti okokora na waka chen say local rice a on pese obeti local rice din kura but so onya to utimi educating wo ho na wo kire no say eye papa na so to kokodi na say ohu say papa nkwande a oba nti foreign rice ni local rice no you face big challenge pa especially omo perspective ni say adwen show mutim ni say abo na ewo muninti omo mpe enu nti na ama you face sa challenge no but can confirm omo say ka local rice ni the best rice because I hear the way it's processing na yempo mas emu no pi emo na aduane ne ahodi no ni nyina wom nti ko mu todi a ka beboa nti yesra Ghana for ene empanifo so omo mo ayen na for imported rice na so nte kakrama yen.
Stones may not be the only thing rice millers must check out. Moisture content is necessary to keep the rice from molds.
Ya hase your parrot ya bobo ya muni guso nti amone ba nya se eda form na se ensuo wo asase no ma na ya esai emo no nti your parrot de muni eguso ya bomuni guso said ye ensuo bia ntimi ema meka no nti eno na ema emo no hase ense emo no ya moisture content no kure ni ye ni machine but the way crop for no mu ye adwuma no ebin mu wo experience ewo emunim the way amusi ehu emo no se awo anasa enwo ye nti o frɛ no ba emu ni gu ne nsɛm kora osa otimi ka che se emu enwo ye anasa awo abroso ana eye nti so ohwɛ na so ohun kora odi gu nanum na owe a ohun timi se awo ana enwo ye de bi gu machine nim na yeso emo no machine no betim ebe kire emo no emma kora eba obomu se ewo ayibi wura no machine ano a enwan se enkwa emo no enwoe ese ejai nti sa no be bie machine mu no bo na emo na bobbo ehye ho It is no so can process bakwan ba kwa fa so de check no no. Pepa to nya machine be boa pa, nya machine mi check moisture content na ka be boa because obi timi kokoso am bebre ba because of moisture content nti e just say yesa etwen kakra na yeso akwa ne de ba ne de ko yesa go awiem ne me bre bebre nti nya machine na
farmers don't have the right drying facilities. That's also another problem. So they dry it on the mat on the floor or some on tarpaulin, and you invite pest infestation, you invite rodent infestation. Sometimes when it's raining, they are not really able to cover it well, and you do have rains beating this rice again and increasing the moisture content. Then that will cause the proliferation of yeast and molds, and the molds will now cause the famous aflatoxins or the mycotoxins, of which we are trying to fight because they are immunosuppressive and they are known to cause cancer. And then they also now have to look at storage facilities. I've mentioned that the storage facilities are not good enough. So Ghana Commodity Exchange is now trying to store it on their behalf and market it on their behalf. So it's liaising between the farmers and then the marketers. But there is the need for more because even them don't have enough warehouses.
The activities of illegal mining near farmlands are prompting a heavy metal test for the harvested grains. Nathaniel Brackon is a scientific officer at the Standards Authority.
It's a very serious situation because, like I said, if you have arsenic, if you have mercury as heavy metals ending up in the rice, basically it's not fit for human consumption. And from speaking from food safety angle, what we will say is that produce must be destroyed.
Yeah, as a case, as a source of livelihood.
Yeah, so that is the thing, and so you and I, we are all consumers, and so for me, what I will say is that it's as much as possible. If the farmer is able to get another piece of land somewhere else, then it's better. Because if you are farming close to a Galamsey area, there's the high likelihood that your crop will pick up some of these heavy metals which will contaminate the food. And so it's not actually, it affects the livelihood of the farmer. It also affects the safety of everyone, because you don't know which table on which that rice is going to end the next. It may go to the restaurant in the parliament, it may go to a chop bar somewhere, it may go anywhere, it may go to a school where you and I, our brothers, our kids are eating and stuff like that. So it's a big problem, and so all of us have to find a way of dealing with it.
Farmers aren't the only ones who must adhere to the protocols. Consumers have a duty to bear in ensuring they eat wholesome rice.
Oh, okay. So when it gets into the house, it's important to ensure that the moisture content does not increase. And so you keep it in a tight container. Or even if it's in the polypropylene bag or the jute bag in which you bought it, there's the importance of aeration, because if the temperature is too low or too high, it will still affect it and you have deterioration. So at home, it's important to ensure that you don't open it up for it to absorb moisture from the environment, because that will cause pest infestation. It will also cause deterioration, and you realize that sometimes when you put your hand through the grain, you have this powdery feeling. So those are called chalky grains, and we'll be looking at it during the practical section. And that means that organisms have consumed part of the grains and they've turned it into powder. So whatever you're consuming does not contain enough nutrients as it should give you as a person. So these are some of the things to look out for. And then if you are consuming rice and the colors are different, then you know that they are damaged rice. You know, if you go into the market, you're buying rice and you see that rice is supposed to look a certain way. We have varieties of rice, and we do have characteristic variety colors. So let's say yours is whitish or creamish, and you see brownish, you see yellowish. Now all those are parameters to look out for. They shouldn't exceed certain amount or certain percentage. Immediately they exceed that, it means that the quality of your grains have been compromised. So when you are buying rice from the market, you need to look at this. You've stored your rice for so long at home, it's become powdery. It's very important to do away with it.
Ghana has the aim to reach a rice self-sufficiency level. Although the national goal is on course, the quality of rice produced in Ghana cannot be compromised. Ghana's rice sector could become the next cash crop, raking in millions of cedis if the needed resources are invested into producing high-quality rice.
Mainly is in the quality assurance, right? So the actors are producing and processing, but who is there checking? And in this quality assurance, you have institutions like the Ghana Standards Authority, the Food and Drugs Authority, and of course, the Ministry of Food and Agric. So they also require resources, testing equipment, logistical equipment to actually go out in the field and to monitor. Because when you don't go out in the field to monitor, that's when actors do whatever they want to do. And without monitoring and, you know, for example, checking products on the markets and on the shelves and in the open markets, then you have a lot of issues. So I would say that the government role here would be to resource these institutions or some of these institutions that I've mentioned to be able to carry out their mandate in terms of quality assurance.
In fact, the main focus is to ensure that Ghanaians are consuming quality local rice. But then moving from there, since we have after coming in, we need to be competitive, because at a point people will be coming in here and we will also be going out. So if we can be very competitive, it means we cannot just be okay with what we are doing right now. We need to go higher, and we should be able to compete with the rice that is coming into our country from the Vietnam, the Thai, and then all those countries that are doing so well with rice production. So the idea is that we should produce quality rice locally, and then our people should consume very good rice. I think we are progressing. Over the last couple of years, we have improved production within our country, but there is still a lot more that can be done to ensure production goes up, and then ensure that we have quality rice that is free of stones, that has very good taste, very good smell, that consumers would love to eat.
Many people are now consuming the stone-free scrumptious rice from Ghana's farms as the local rice sector works to address its challenges and bridge the deficits.
Rice in India, a Yemeni pediano, and intina me pay. Intina my babu and tensa me pa, me pebia and a son number tonem cookedy. Since I won't know so. Ne fair and taste nino, and ne foreign wine urbanina, I pay. Into debia, me baha crown, me betobia. Se nipa no kra on kra me for so na so mfa ma me esanse mo no ye papa.
With the right policies and measures, Ghana's rice sector could see a boom in production as the country sets out to achieve its rice self-sufficiency in the coming years. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion here on the food chain. Join me same time next week for another exciting episode. My name is Emmanuel. Right, Kweku.